Hi, good evening, everyone. Today is Thursday, March 12th, 2026. This is a regular school board meeting of the School Board Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 7:05 p.m. The place is the School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street in East Chicago, Indiana. This meeting is being recorded via live stream. Call to order.
Trustee Gibson King.
Present.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Present.
Madam President Taylor.
President, may we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Color guard, attention. Carry colors. Forward, march. Right turn, march. Color guard, halt. Present colors. Order, color. Center, face. Forward, march. Halt. Left face. Forward, march.
All right, moving along, item 1.03, mission statement, Superintendent Dr. Bournet.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. Our mission: the School City of East Chicago educates and empowers every student through aligned instruction, meaningful partnerships, and differentiated practices to ensure success in life, career, college, and civic engagement.
Thank you. Moving on to item 1.04, certification. I certify there no executive meeting has been held. Moving on to item 2.01, approval of the agenda. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion made by Secretary Smith, second by VP Rodriguez. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gibson King.
Present. Yes.
Trustee Gomez.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Madam President Taylor.
Yes. Moving on to item 3, we have a presentation, 3.01. Dr. Bournet.
Good evening again. We would like to invite our partners at ESS to come. This is the first year of our partnership with ESS, and the board did request a sort of mid-year update, progress report to show progress and where we are still having some areas for growth. So now I'll turn it over to our partners, Ms. Saffos.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. Thank you for having us this evening. I do have some data to share with you, which will be from our go-live date from October 27th through February 17th, and then I'll give some additional updates as we go through as well. My name is Becky Saffles. I'm our Senior Vice President of Operations for ESS. I oversee all of our operations in the Midwest. I have with me Kimberly Hensley. She's our Senior Regional Manager. And then Marissa Busto. She's your Local Account Manager and an East Chicago alumni, so she graduated from here. Always like to mention that. So we're going to dive into this data in just a moment on some additional slides, but this is just a snapshot. So as I mentioned, we went live on October 27th. You can see the fill rate as an average is 62% from August through February, so that does include before ESS partnered. We filled 1,290 positions compared to last year through the exact same dates. There was 1,062 positions filled for a 43% fill rate. So in a short few months, we've been able to increase the fill rate by 19% and over 200 positions, which I will say as a full year when on a new contract, typically on a really good school year for a full year is 10 to 15% growth. So we're very encouraged by what we're seeing. So this is a month-over-month breakdown to kind of show where the progress is being made. Last year to the left, and then this current year on the right. Those highlighted in green are mostly the ESS months. Obviously, we started the 27th of October, so it was the end of the month. But what I want to notate here is February is only through the 17th on this report, but I do want to mention that we ended up filling 318 positions in February, which as you can see is the most positions that have been filled this school year or last school year by a significant amount. And we finished February at an 81% fill rate, which compared to 43% fill rate last year. You can see where the trending is going up. So November, 243 placements. December, it's a shorter month because of holidays and Christmas or holiday breaks. And then back to January is when we have usually a good solid amount of school days in there. So you can see where the progress is coming in every month on the growth. And that is due to the recruitment and placements, incentives, and different things that we'll mention in just a few moments. So just as a group, just wanted to let you all know that we have hired, it's actually 60 substitutes to date. As of this information, it was 58. 26 substitutes came from School City of East Chicago when we partnered with you. So that means Miss Marissa, our account manager, has been very busy, and she has over tripled the substitute pool because the actual substitute pool is 81 substitutes now, not 80. But you can see if you add up the 26 district originals plus our hires, there's going to be people that leave or stay. But a lot of those, that 80 subpool is coming from neighboring districts as well. So since we work with Lake Ridge and Crown Point and Country Club Hills, we have some other subs that want to come work in this district. So it's added to our pool in addition to our new hires. So some of the benefits of working with ESS that our substitutes have enjoyed, which I think has also helped us retain substitutes and get new substitutes into the district, is they are paid every Friday. So it's 2 weeks in the rear, but they get a check every Friday. They can work 5 days a week. They obviously can work less than that if they'd like. That's one of the main benefits of substituting is they get to pick their schedule, when and where they want to work. Work to win contests. So every substitute every month is entered into a work to win contest if they work 5 days in the month through our corporate raffles. But in addition to that, Miss Marissa does her own local raffles where they're only competing against the substitutes that work in this district. That could be gift cards for hard to fill days, busy months, gift baskets, those kind of things. It's our way of giving back to the substitutes and building a culture with them and making them feel appreciated. And in turn, they tell their friends about it. They want to come to work. It's just something that we've always done, and it goes really well to recognize the employees. Also, Employee of the Month programs, referral programs. So everybody in the district or across the nation can participate in our referral program. If they refer someone and they're successfully hired and they work 15 days in their first 45 days, they earn $100 per successful referral. So schools can do that, friends, family, anybody in this room can do that. So it's usually the number one way that we get folks is word of mouth because of the things that we do for our substitutes and because of the additional benefits. Those benefits include health, vision, dental, and life insurance options through our marketplace. There's no minimum hours or days worked to qualify for those benefits, in addition to a retirement plan 401k. So also just on the district side, ESS is responsible for the workers' comp, payroll taxes, unemployment. So we do carry that instead of that being on the district, in addition to managing HR incidents, those type of things if needed on the substitute side. As I mentioned before, the benefit too of our 34 partner districts in the state is those closest to here. We do get substitutes from those other districts. And then ESS covers the cost of the frontline absence management piece. So that's part of our contract that we absorb. And I do want to mention, as I mentioned about the incentives, the gift cards, paid Facebook ads that we do, none of that is any extra cost to the district. That's something that ESS does as an investment because we know it's important to get those classrooms filled. So I did want to break down the fill rate by school. So one thing to notice on here is majority of the schools have increased their fill rate or their placements or both. Some of their requests went down, but I do want to point out Washington Elementary, we increased their placements over 110 placements since we came on board. Also, we have, I think it was Central High, increased their placements from 413 to 513. I know Carrie Gosh is something that we're still focused on, the Early Learning Center. There's additional requirements there, and Miss Marissa and Miss Kimberly have been working hard on that. Even though it's not where, we would like to see it, we have tripled their number of placements compared to last year. So it's something that we're working through. But it's really important to see that how it's impacting the school, because we understand when there's classrooms left unfilled, that is a burden that can be on the school. So hopefully adding additional placements in has helped relieve some of that burden. So just on the recruiting updates, so we do, as I mentioned, incentives for low fill rate days. You'll see a couple fun pictures on the next page of things that we do, the gift card incentives. We do a lot of fun holiday theme contests to keep folks encouraged. Especially, I know everybody in this room probably knows May is coming up, and we call that Mayhem. So we do a lot of extra pay Fridays and different things from April and May as school is winding down. But we do a lot of outreach. So we're constantly contacting the substitutes to keep them engaged and see why they're not working, what we can do to get them working. We use text programs, emails, phone calls. And that's the great thing about Marissa being from here. She knows the community. She knows she has great relationships with businesses and the community to be out and recruit. Social media recruitment campaigns, flyers being distributed. I know she had a job fair here today, so she's got a couple of additional things coming up as well. And she also participated in several job fairs already, and we also offer a lot of additional support for frontline as well. So frontline absence management for your administrators in your buildings. So these are just some of the fun pictures, yard signs out, some of the winners of our contest so far in the few months that we've been working. Gift baskets, those kind of things. And also I see Kimberly with a yard sign out there and Miss Marissa at a job fair. So these are just some of the different things that we do. Not all of them, but just wanted to show you a little sample. And in closing, this is just something we want to share is what our plan is as we move forward. So we want to continue to focus on the high-need schools and each of the schools in the district to get as many placements and positions as we can. We just recently added on paras, so we're actively recruiting for those positions as well as the needs come from each of the building. And then we'll be surveying the principals, so it's something that we do at least a couple times a year that will be included in our end-of-year review, which happens in June once the school year has concluded, that we survey all of the principals before the end of the school year, see how things are going. They're in constant contact with Marissa, the principals and admin assistants, but it's great to get a pulse to see if there's anything that needs to be addressed that hasn't been addressed already. We, as I mentioned, continuing to work on the frontline system training. So I know Marissa scheduled her, tell me if I'm wrong, Marissa, but I think it's your third training is scheduled for frontline with the administrators and administrative assistants, just to help answer any questions that they may have, to make sure that the data that is in the system is accurate and if there's any questions on how to do any of the processes. And then we can host a refresher over the summer. It's something that we do pretty commonly in school districts. Just if there's any changeover or new administrators, we'll be more than happy to train them. And continue to build that pool for Carrie Gosh. And then spring's really fun. Substitute appreciation is coming up, so we do a lot of different events and appreciations and incentives for our substitutes that you'll see through April and May, including the extra pay Fridays through a corporate incentive that we do just to prepare for the busy time of year. In closing, I just want to appreciate you all and the partnership, and we're seeing those meaningful gains in the fill rate and the placements. As we look ahead, obviously, as we move into next school year, you can see even more of those gains because you're retaining the additional subs. It allows us to recruit more over the summer. So if we can finish out as strongly as we are now, with 81% for February, and continue to build on that, it sets up next school year for August to look so much better than where it started. So we appreciate any questions. Feel free to let me know.
Are there any questions from the board? Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. You've noted some increases from, year over year. Would you know what the increase would be in terms of cost, year one to year two?
For what it would be for next school year?
No. You've got figures from last year and you've got figures from this year. You're saying that this is an increase. I'd like to know what the cost increase is.
I think Leela was able, I'm sorry, Trustee Gomez, but I remember asking this question in a previous meeting, and Leela was able to provide some data, and she said she was going to email it to us, I believe.
I can have our accounting pull what's been billed from ESS since our partnership began on October 27th. I wouldn't have the numbers from before then, but we most certainly can do a report to the board or to you all to share what was billed to you since October 27th.
I believe we asked this of our Executive Director of Business, and she said it was pretty much in line with what we've been paying. But I could ask if she's here, if she could kind of send that. Could you speak to it? Yes. Thank you. I didn't see you there.
I didn't know Lita was in it.
I'll work for her report and I'll send her.
I believe you need to go to the mic.
Please, thank you. Go to the mic, please.
Come on, I'll share my mic.
Told you.
So I'm gonna work with her and send her my data, and she can incorporate it for you, so y'all see side by side
Yeah.
of which, how it is, how it's fluctuating on it. And also, my payroll supervisor also has the number of subs that we have used, so you can compare.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, I can send you what we have as well. So either way that works.
Okay.
That'd be great, thank you. And then the other question I have is that there are certainly classes that, we don't have subs for.
Right.
I'm not sure if this is a question for you. If you're, how do you communicate that you don't have that individual or that class, a sub for that class, number one, and number two, what then happens without a sub in that particular class?
Great question. So obviously 100% fill rate is always everybody's goal. We don't get paid if we don't fill the job. So of course we want to fill as many, not to mention most importantly, we want the classrooms to be filled. So Marissa is the local account manager, so she is in constant communication with the school administrators and administrative assistants. So because she's here, she knows whether they want to be emailed, text, called, and she lets them know, hey, just want to let you know I'm working on this absence, because we get up every morning at 6:30 every morning and check Frontline, because subs can go on and pick up their own assignments, but majority don't pick up a same-day assignment. And those are the ones that you really need the help filling. So she gets up and uses those texting programs, the phone calls, and the emails. If she's exhausted all efforts and can't get it filled, because to be honest, we're still building the sub pool. We went from 26 to 80, but we still have a ways to go, that there's going to be times that they're not filled. So the school then goes to their plan B, whether they have to have somebody come in on planning period, or if they're splitting classes, whatever process they've always had in place would be that same. It's just we're taking that on to try to fill it and communicate if we can or we cannot. And if we are able to secure somebody, we'll say, hey, they may not be able to get there till 8:30 or 9 o'clock, but do you still want somebody to come in? And majority of the time, they're going to say, oh, yes, that's much better than all day without a sub.
Right.
And as I mentioned, as we continue to build the sub pool, that will happen less and less. Because I'm very encouraged by how quickly it's grown. That's above average. So I'm very encouraged as to what we can do between now and.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I have a question. How you
Yes,
doing?
ma'am. Good, how are you?
Yes, it was my understanding that when we contracted with you all, it was my understanding that you all were ready, feet on the ground, ready to go. You already had your subs available and what have you not. But what I'm finding is that's not true. That's not so. Because we've had teachers that have been absent. And there's been no one from your agency to come in to fulfill classrooms. Some of the kids have to go into the auditorium, if I'm not mistaken, because there's no subs. And a lot of this behavior has been going on, and while we have your agency. And the same thing is going on at Block School. They use, and whatever time you all get notified, you know, you cannot fulfill the positions.
Right.
That's, and I have, and me as a board member, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I really do, because it's like to me, we're doing the same thing we was doing without you all, and you all were supposed to come in to better the situation.
Okay.
And that's not happening at all.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. And I can speak to the, if you like, on the transition. So when we come in, it's 4-week transition period. So we sign the contract on September 23rd. And then it's 4 weeks to go live to switch everything over and move your existing substitutes over. Simultaneously, we are recruiting for new substitutes and advertising to those surrounding districts. So we were able to add some additional substitutes right away and increase the placements and fill rates. It's just, again, I understand it's not 100% yet, but we have made some good progress.
Thank you. The question I have, how does your bilingual pool look like? Has that been a struggle, or?
I'll ask Ms. Marissa, since she works pretty closely, your bilingual pool. Do you have any bilingual substitutes?
Okay.
Do you want to come up here? Yeah. So we actively recruit. All of our marketing materials is in Spanish and English, so we're able to recruit for that specifically. And then we do have bilingual substitutes. So it's always, it's not as always as readily available, but we know that is a need and something that we focus on.
Definitely. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions from the board? All right, well, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Do you all need us to stay for anything additional? We'll be happy to. I just want to make sure.
Nope.
I just didn't want to exit left. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right, so moving on to administrator reports, 4.01, Dr. Bornay.
Good evening again, Board of Trustees. This is my superintendent's report for March 12th, 2026. In partnership with Ivy Tech Community College, we are excited to announce our open house for East Chicago Central High School students interested in industrial trades, advanced manufacturing, automotive, construction, industrial, electrical, and welding. It will be Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, from 4 to 6 p.m. at Ivy Tech Community College East Chicago campus. This event is open for eligible sophomores and juniors, and their parents are encouraged to attend. We're excited about this partnership we have with Ivy Tech. A huge thank you to our staff and our community partners who worked our semi-state wrestling tournament. Over 50 volunteers, including students, staff, alumni, and community partners, helped to make that event a huge success. And we want to congratulate our elementary basketball champions, Lincoln boys and girls basketball team. If we could have their coaches and the basketball players. They can stand here in front of the,
Female coaches, too, female coaches.
We need all the coaches to come up.
Women's month.
Girl power.
That's right. Yeah. Hey. Right.
principal come up as well, so you get it up.
That's
picture
right, that's right. That's right.
All right, Lincoln. Smile.
Okay, if you all can just slide up in front of the pole. Sorry, Dr. Porter.
Oh, no, you're fine.
All of us in their way when they touch my picture.
There we go.
Okay, Lincoln. Smile, Lincoln. 3, 2, 1. Go, Lincoln.
Go, Lincoln.
Great job to our coaches, as in assistant coaches, and our families for supporting Lincoln. I see there are also Lincoln staff out this evening. Great job to Mr. Askew and all of our elementary schools on an incredible basketball season. Let's give them another hand.
All right.
Boys and girls track and field is in full swing this week as we start our spring sports schedule. Our spring sports season, our schedules are available as well. Esports, Smash Navy has won back-to-back games and they are looking for their third in a row. Smash Red is looking for their first back-to-back win this season as well. Great job to our esports team and our esports coaches. With spring sports already underway, it is increasingly challenging to find coaches to devote their time and energy to the rigors of coaching a team for a small stipend. So we are excited and extremely grateful for one of our own board of trustees to volunteer her time for our student athletes. This exemplifies what it means to put students first. Thank you to Board President Taylor, who has graciously volunteered as an assistant coach for our softball team. And congratulations to our boys basketball team on capturing their third consecutive sectional championship this past fall. Defeating Gary Westside 57-54 in overtime. Our boys basketball team will play for a regional championship this Saturday, March 14th versus Mishawaka Marion at Michigan City High School. Game time is 4 o'clock. Sectional championship t-shirts are available for sale, and I believe it's a red out?
Yes.
It's okay, so red, I don't have any problem with red out. Let's acknowledge our basketball head coach, Alam Rua, and
Okay, I ain't got my phone ain't even working to take no pictures. Can't do nothing. My phone ain't working to take no pictures. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Those 3 people.
almost done. March is National Social Work Month. We can give them a hand. And last week was National School Social Work Week. We want to recognize our very dedicated team of social workers who support the social, emotional, and behavioral needs of our students, which is one of our focus areas of our strategic plan. So if they are present tonight, if they can come up, Suzanne Chick, Alicia Booth, Ariana Gazillo, Josette Serrano, Lisa Gary, Rosa Askew, Rita Daniels, Andre Clay, and Carrie Williams.
Oh, yes. Mercedes. Mercedes. You wanna tell them that they could go, the kids? You wanna tell them that they could go, or they just stay in here? Yeah, they might think they gotta stay in here.
We can pause in the middle of my report so our families, since it is a school night, if Lincoln wants to take off.
Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
See you guys, see you later. Okay, baby, take care. Oh, yes.
Man, that was the whole half of the,
No, this happens.
Trying to tell you.
We will be celebrating Read Across America Week, March 16th through 20th, due to iRead testing. Each elementary school has designated reading times throughout the day, and we invite our community members and partners to come in to read to our students. Your presence sends a very powerful message to our students about the importance of literacy and community. East Chicago branch of the NAACP, in partnership with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, invites you to a candidate information forum, Wednesday, March 18th, 2026, St. Mark AME Zion Church at 4200 Alder Street, East Chicago, Indiana, at 5:30 p.m. And I'm almost through with my report, but one of the folks we recognized isn't here yet, so I'll have to come back.
Okay.
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 All righty, so we can pause, we can go to our
Okay.
CFO report.
Say what now?
All right. He has one more item to discuss, but the person he needs to recognize is not here.
Oh, one.
Okay.
What are we doing?
We can probably move forward.
We'll go ahead and move forward and we'll circle back. All right, so moving on to item 4.02, Executive Director of Business Operations, Ms. Simmons.
Hi, I'm gonna yield my time to Jimmy Shanahan. He's gonna give a brief overview of the building bond that we are looking to strive out for within the next month.
What's his name?
Oh,
Yeah, I can introduce myself. Good evening, board. My name is Jimmy Shanahan. I'm with Taft, Stefanus and Hollister. We serve as your bond counsel. Tonight is an informal, just kind of overview of what's to come. It's not part of the official approvals. The plan is starting in your April 14th meeting and followed by your second regular scheduled meeting in April to hold 2 public hearings on a proposed capital program to take care of various needs throughout the school corporation, focusing on the high school. The proposal is to authorize up to $30 million of bonds over the next 2 years, which will be issued a part this year and a part next year to focus on the capital needs of the school corporation. At the public hearings, there'll be a formal presentation with a number of financial parameters, a more thorough description of the needs of the school, and a chance for the public to give input, and also a question and answer period with the board. But we want to give you a heads up that this is coming down the pipe so you can start to think about maybe some of your questions. If you want any data in advance, you can make those requests to myself through Ms. Simmons, and then your financial consultant, Mr. Dalton, can work with me to prepare answers so that we can have a really thorough discussion at your public hearings in April. But we wanted to just give you that heads up as a courtesy to get your wheels turning about anything you may want to know or your constituents may want to know. The plan after, should you decide to move forward after your second meeting in April, would be to have final approvals at your June meeting and then sell bonds sometime this summer for the first tranche, come back in 27 and sell the balance of the authorization. The reason for the staggering is to spread out some of the costs and also to match the ability of the timeline of actually spending it so you don't borrow before you actually need the funds. So happy to answer any questions now, or we can start thinking about those questions and get them ready for your April board meetings.
I'd just like to get a summary. Your present, what you just got through talking about here, so I can read it and get my questions.
Sure, we prepared a timeline of the steps. We can shoot you that, and we can also get you the financial parameters and the draft of the presentation prior to April meetings, and you can take a look at it in advance of the meeting as well.
We've shared the timeline with the board previously. We'll remind them.
Okay.
Could you repeat the timeline again? I'm sorry.
Sure. We'll have a public hearing at your April 14th board meeting, and it'll simply be a presentation, and that presentation will be made again at the meeting on the 28th. And at that meeting, at the meeting on the 28th, there'll be a number of resolutions that'll be in front of you for consideration that memorialize the financial information and also give a preliminary approval to move forward. And then we'll have final approvals and another public hearing in June at one of your June board meetings. And then following that meeting, that'll be your final approval, and we would be looking to sell bonds later that summer. So this is the beginning of a beginning process that'll take about 90 days.
I do have one question about the bond. So this timeline, all that we're doing now, that will be explained about the monies that we're getting, or do we have the monies?
No, we don't.
Yeah, this is the authorization that puts you in a position to sell bonds to generate the money. So before we can sell the bonds, we need to go through a series of approvals and public input and question.
Oh,
So this information tonight is simply just a precursor to the official process. This isn't part of any official approval yet.
okay. So on some of our claim dockets, I see that some of those monies have been allocated out of, it says bonds. So when we receive that money goes to the bonds? I mean,
You
or is
have,
it coming out of operations? What is it coming out of now?
So you have, if you're referring to your financial statements, you have a bond and interest fund that's payable from a debt service tax levy. That's one of the components of your overall tax levy.
Okay.
So the school corporation has a number of bond issues outstanding that they've done over the last several years.
Okay.
And that item that you're mentioning is the debt service to finance your existing obligations. And as a part of the presentation, you'll get an overview of all the existing debt and the existing debt service payments and tax rates. And then looking forward to the future, should you move forward and sell the bonds, a projection of what that additional debt service will look like and what kind of impact you could expect.
Thank you. That was my only question.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? All right. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
I will see you next month.
Sounds good. Okay. Now I'm going to divert back to Dr. Bournet.
Thank you again for your indulgence on Board of Trustees. The Cardinal Nation is proud to support freshman Jamal Backstrom, who was nominated for the 4th time to represent the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year.
That's nice.
Coach Allah, did you have any remarks, anything else that you wanted to say?
Oh, this is the new schedule that they gave us, huh?
The first thing I want to do is give another round of applause to Jamal. Jamal was recognized, like Dr. Bournet said, for the 4th consecutive year as the Youth of the Year, representing East Chicago once again. And specifically, I want to briefly mention that Jamal gave a speech at this event that I think would be very hard to replicate. It was a very special speech, and through that moment, everything that he talked about are things that he embodies in everyday life, things that he's brought into our program on a daily basis. He's been a very good mentor for our guys, and he's going to make our program very special for years to come. So we really appreciate Jamal and everything that he does in the classroom, on the court, and in the community. So let's give him another hand.
Give us a little bit of that speech.
I don't really remember it. I just want to say thank you to everybody here and to the East Chicago community and the basketball community just for giving me the chance to do something like this and recognizing me. So thank you.
Madam President, that
Yes.
concludes my report.
Okay. Before we transition, I just want to say, Jamal, I was there when he gave that speech, and I just totally forgot he was a freshman because he spoke like a grown adult. I mean, he spoke very mature. He spoke from the heart. He was giving eye contact. He was not reading notes. His hand was behind his back the whole time, and he worked the room. And I told you that day that I was a better person that day because of you. If I could have snatched that award from that person and gave it to you, I would have done it. But you represented us very, very well, and I was so, so proud. And I shed tears there with you, so thank you again. Thank you.
I just want to let you know, I wasn't there, but I want to let you also know that, Jamal, because of the mentors that you have surrounded, they have surrounded you throughout your tenure as being a basketball player or a Cardinal student, you have great mentors, and they are leading you in the right direction. And for that, be grateful for the people that believe in you, mentor you, and you have taken that and you've listened. So for that, I am ever so grateful for you, but I'm also overjoyed with the mentors that you have in your life. Take what they've given you throughout your life, and you will be a star. You cannot fail because you've had great mentors.
I want to say something, Madam President. Young man, I just want to get your autograph, so can you give me your autograph?
Okay.
Give me your autograph right now. Give me a piece of paper. I want to get your autograph right now.
No, you onto something. That it's gonna be worth some money.
Uh-huh. And sign it right here. Yes. Uh-huh. Let's get his, yeah, uh-huh, yes, uh-huh, yes. Thank you. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So moving along, now we are on to the consent agenda. Are there any comments from the audience on the consent agenda? Sorry. All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam President, make a motion to approve item 5, the consent agenda.
Motion made by VP Rodriguez.
Second.
Second made by Madam Secretary Smith. Are there any comments from the board?
Madam President,
Go ahead.
Yes, trustee Gomez.
I'd like to make a secondary motion. That's to remove item, I'm sorry, lost my notes here.
Sorry, to remove item,
It's the invoice for the, oh, here it is, sorry. To remove on page 8 of the claim docket, it would be claim number 96093. It's on page 8. Check number is 119559.
all right, so he made a secondary motion to remove
Yes.
on page 8, item, or claim number, is it
96093.
96093? Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Second made by Madam Secretary Smith. Are there any comments from the board?
I have one comment.
Yes.
Dr. Bernay, was the services rendered and pertained to this particular claim?
That is correct, trustee, Vice President Rodriguez. Services have been rendered.
Dr. Bournier, Madam President, with that being said, this contract says 2 months. Is this a payment that's due, or because this contract should have been terminated because the date was 12/19/25, and it says duration for 2 months, and we're in March. So is this a payment due?
That is correct. That payment is due.
Because the contract is definitely saying that it's ended, really. So I just want to know, is this a payment due, or is this something else new, or something we don't know about?
Okay. So are there any, where do we go from
If
here?
there's any other comment, if not, then you can take a roll call on the secondary motion.
Okay. So Madam Secretary, roll call, and we still have to approve the consent agenda itself, correct?
Okay.
Unless unless somebody wants to remove something else, right?
Right now, there's a motion and a second. Yeah.
So the second was,
There's a motion and a second to approve the agenda, or the consent agenda as is. That's what was on the table. But we have since approved a secondary motion, so the only thing that remains is the consent agenda with the modified claim docket.
Okay.
That's what's on
So
the table right now.
we need a motion to approve with the modified,
That's all that's left.
Okay.
So you wouldn't need another motion. That is what the motion's for.
okay.
Madam President, I believe trustee Smith wants to make another motion. Is that correct, trustee Smith?
No, I just had another question.
Okay.
You have a question regarding the claim docket itself or the consent agenda?
The consent agenda.
Okay. Yes, trustee Smith.
That's already been solidified, correct?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that's been solidified is the removal of one item from the claim docket.
So-
Right now, the approval of the consent agenda is still subject to approval. So
Okay.
this is the discussion period for you to talk
Correct,
about
so you can make, yeah.
anything on the consent agenda.
Okay. I just want to make,
Or to talk about anything that's on here.
You can make a comment, yes.
Yes, well, I'll wait on trustee Smith.
page 1, just an explanation. Claim 96354, this is DECA competition. When was this program initiated? This is a non-for-profit organization, and it's Distributive Education Club of America, which is a 501c3. So I'm just asking the question, are we paying for services for
Right, I think it's
this particular item,
on page 1. I think.
page 1? 96354. Is that for a speaker or what? I just need to know. Because this is a non-for-profit organization.
So, Our students at the high school went to Indianapolis for a competition, and this was actually their meals amount. We had 4 students to go to Indianapolis, I think it was last Sunday to Tuesday.
Okay.
You say 4 students with Leland?
4.
Uh,
4 students and 2 chaperones. Oh, we didn't send nobody else.
Okay, so do we have any other comments? Just a reminder to the board that this is just comment section. Trustee Gibson, can you say you had a comment as well?
Yes, I had a comment about the company that's listed here for this amount of money that we just voted down. Now, I have some additional information about this individual who says that this is their company, but they're not using their name. They're using the company's name, and you know, this information has gotten out into the community way before this got started about this individual. And so even though we do have a policy where the superintendent can spend $25,000 without board approval, but what we must be careful of as a board, that we are over this money. Whatever he's spending it on, we must have documentation to substantiate what this money is used for. And if we don't, then we're finding ourselves hiring people that don't live in Indiana. Most of them comes from Illinois. And I want to seem to think that some of the concerns that we have in our community is these people that come here, they feel as though that they're in our city, they want to treat it like the city of Mayberry, like we don't know what's going on, and we don't know what's going on until that's true, until we find out later after the fact, and a lot of that has happened to us. We've voted on some issues and some things, and lots of money has been being spent, and it has not been spent wisely. It's really been misused. A lot of these dollars are. So, I'm saying that I'm not going to continue to support any of that kind of behavior. When these individuals lose their jobs or whatever happened to these individuals, then they on WGN News, you know, and then we find out, you know, that they're in our school district, you know. So I am not going to keep on substantiating that kind of behavior. So I just want to make that clear to our community. Those of you that's out there in TV land, listen to what I'm saying when it comes down to that money, because a lot of it is being not spent on our children. So that's my concern that I have with a lot of this things that's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gibson.
Thank you, Madam President.
Very welcome. All right, so Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yeah, what we voted on, I done forgot.
the consent agenda.
Yes, I done forgot, I got all right, yes, I want to make sure I vote on the right thing, yes. Yes, yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Trustee Smith?
Yes. Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. All right, moving on to new business. Item 601, approval of resolution to authorize interlocal agreement between the school city of East Chicago and the city of East Chicago. Are there any comments from the audience?
Where we at now?
Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.01?
Madam President, I move for approval of 6.01.
Approval made by Trustee Gomez,
Second.
second by VP Rodriguez. Are there any comments from the board? Or before I even inquire of comments, Attorney Harris, could you speak to that?
Sure, thank you, Madam President. We have been working with the city administration for some time now on the terms of an interlocal agreement, and it had quite a few elements. The primary component of the interlocal at one point involved iReady grant money and our application for those funds with the state. That time has come and gone, and the interlocal is no longer centered around a specific grant, but the interlocal agreement will support future grant applications going forward, and it also supports the transfer of this building to the city for future development. As we all know who have attended these meetings, This building has reached the end of its useful life. The cost to repair the building would be astronomical. So through our ability to have an interlocal agreement with the city, we'll be able to pass ownership of the building over to the city for future development. I think it will also be helpful with what's going on over at Black Stadium. But for us, we'd be able to get the administration building moved to one of our other buildings with the cooperation of the city. There has been lately some additional components to add to that interlocal agreement that involves some of our other facilities that will be included. So the way the resolution reads is that it authorizes us to enter into the interlocal agreement. We're continuing to work on a couple of additional elements we're going to add to it. We'll bring that back to the board and review that with you so that you know what those are. But this allows us to move forward with the most important component, and that is vacating this building. So if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those, but otherwise, I'd recommend approval.
Thank you.
So, Madam President.
Yes, Trustee
I'm gonna
Gibson King.
ask Mr. Harris' question. So we have to have a meeting to the sale of the building here? We got to be in a public meeting, right?
We will have another meeting about this. Right now, the only thing we're approving is a resolution. The
Yeah.
resolution makes reference to an interlocal agreement that will be entered into. And that interlocal agreement, we're still working on some of those terms. And I know the superintendent has been in some conversations with the city administration as well regarding a swimming program and some other things. So yes, we will have another meeting. Yes, we'll provide that document to you, and there'll be the opportunity for additional input by the board.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, thank you. There aren't any other comments. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Next on the agenda is item 6.02, approval of resolution 2026-03 to support Columbus Drive pedestrian bridge. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.02?
Madam President, I move for approval of 6.02.
Motion made by Trustee Gomez,
Second.
second by Madam Secretary Smith. Are there any comments from the board?
Madam President,
Yes, Trustee Gomez.
Attorney Harrison, I've been talking about this for a while. As you represent the library, the desire, I think, here is to have a similar resolution presented by them and the city council.
That's correct. There are some common interests here, not only the School City of East Chicago, but also the East Chicago Public Library. Upon your approval of this resolution, we'll present this to the library for their consideration, for their support, and we'll finalize that with the city council to try to get their support. Ultimately, what we want to do is show a united front in the community to show the importance of this safety issue.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are there any other comments? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving on to item 6.03, approval of resolution for student safety and security. Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get an a motion to approve item 6.03?
Madam President, I make motion to approve 6.03.
Motion made by Trustee Gomez,
Second.
second by VP Rodriguez. Any comments from the board?
President.
Yes, Trustee Gomez.
Just a question, Attorney Harris. Item number 3, it says protocol for external agency presence, bullet point 1. Can you clarify that first one? It says any representative of an external law enforcement. Are you talking about external to the city, or does this include the police department, East Chicago Police Department?
So it's intended, the external means outside of the city, yes. That's what it's intended to be.
So East Chicago Police Department would need to abide by this.
So there are protocols already in place that we have the East Chicago Police Department abide by. So yes, they would need to comply with this as well.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, are there any other comments? Hearing none, Madam
Just
Secretary.
one, I'm sorry.
Sorry, yes. VP
Attorney
Rodriguez.
Did you draft this, or?
No, but I did review it. I did not draft it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Next on the agenda, item 6.04, approval of facility usages request for St. Mary's Church. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.04?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve item 6.04.
Motion
Second.
made by VP Rodriguez, second by Trustee Gomez. Any comments from the board? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving on to item 6.05, approval of facility usage request for the City of East Chicago. Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.05?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve 6.05.
Motion made by Madam Secretary Smith,
Second.
second by VP Rodriguez. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving on to item 6.06, approval of facility usage request for Autism Walk. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.06?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve 6.06.
Motion made by Madam Secretary Smith.
Second.
Second by Trustee Gomez. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving on to item 6.07, approval paraprofessional training program. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.07?
Madam President, I move for approval of 6.07.
Motion made by Trustee Gomez, second by VP Rodriguez. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving on to item 6.08, approval of second reading for policies PO 7100, facilities planning, and PO 6220, budget preparation. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get an approval, a motion to approve item 6.08?
Madam President, make a motion to approve item 6.0.
Second.
Motion made by VP Rodriguez, second by Trustee Gomez. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving on to item 6.09, approval of professional development requests. Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.09?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve 6.09.
Second.
Motion made by Madam Secretary Smith, second by Trustee Gomez. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving on to item 6.10, approval of personnel report. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.10?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve 6.10.
Motion made by Madam Secretary Smith, second by VP Rodriguez. Are there any comments from the board?
Madam President,
Yes, Trustee Gomez.
thank you. This personnel report has gone through, I believe, at least 3 revisions now. The more recent one was provided to me today at about 4:30, just a few hours ago. Not having time to review all this, I'm very uncomfortable with us going through this exercise repeatedly of having the personnel report amended over and over up until and including the day of the meeting. That's not good leadership. That's not good stewardship. And I, for one, am very uncomfortable with this. Previously, there was an an issue brought up by a board member, and I want to read a comment that that board member made. I'm a former school board trustee. I'm appalled. I have sat on this board with everybody but two. For me to hear trustee, and this is a past meeting, I happened to look at the minutes today. For me to hear trustee Hernandez-Orange say she did not hear about an alternative school today, I'm appalled. She goes on to say, this individual goes on to say, when I sat on the school board, those things that did not happen. We can't continue operating like this. You can't continue dropping stuff on us at the last minute and expecting us to vote on it, at least not for me. I need more time to digest this. This is totally inappropriate. I'm voting no on this. Secondly, I'd like to know what happened to the federal grants person. They are not on this personnel report, and to my understanding, that person is back in the district. Dr. Bournet, is there a reason why she's not on the personnel report?
So the personnel report was drafted prior to that person returning, which is why it's not included.
It's been amended 3 times, including today.
I don't believe the changes that were made were substantive.
Okay.
So there was an effective date that was incorrect, which is the only reason why we changed the personnel report. There's been no other changes.
Oh, what's changed?
I do
then?
encourage,
I don't have it.
I do encourage our board members to get their packets on a timely date. These reports are given. So if the 24-hour or 48-hour, that is correct. We did not make any changes 48 hours for the board meeting. I can't control when board members pick up hard copy packets.
Speaking to me? Because
No.
I'm the only one that picks mine up.
That is not correct.
Who else pick up the board package but other than me?
Mine was handed to me by Ms. Bigham
Now,
today.
who come in here get the, I don't think nobody else come in here get it other than me.
You're not the only board member who gets hard copies
No, I said to pick it up though. You said pick up.
or delivered.
I know the rest of them, I know I'm not the only one that get hard copies, but they get theirs delivered.
Okay.
So, but anyway, go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Well, I just want to make clear that, you know,
Wait, Miss Leela, I need to ask you a question.
I'm
before
sorry,
you go, please.
I'm sorry, Trustee Gibson
No,
King.
not right now. I just want you to stay, because I got something on the personnel report I want to ask her. I'm sorry, Madam President, go ahead.
All right, so just so we're clear, the board packet is available to us as a courtesy on the Tuesday before the meeting. However, our cutoff date is that Thursday, which is 48 hours before the meeting. So they have, board members have whoever chooses, we have board members that choose to pick up their packets, we have board members that choose their packets delivered, and we have board members that use technology. So if you pick up your board packet before the 48 hours, he is free, the administration is free to make any changes they need to make up to that 48-hour mark. You could always get your most updated packet and information, personnel report, whatever you need on your board docket, in board docs.
Yeah, but that's not my concern. My concern is, did you say that it was something added here? What was added?
And if something as minor as an effective date, as
added to
a
the
typo,
personnel
I mean,
report?
that's not a deal breaker.
No, what was added, though? That's all I'm asking. Page 1?
Okay, so we need to move this meeting along.
Yeah, let's call the vote.
All right, so Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
I got a question I need to ask Leela about this, if you don't mind.
You have a question about the personnel report?
Yes, I do. That's why I
Okay.
asked Ms. Leela to stay.
Trustee
You don't-
Gibson King.
You don't mind, do you? So.
Honestly, I do, but let's get the meeting going.
I just need to ask her a question, if you don't mind, on this personnel report.
Which page?
I'm on page, let's see. So I need to ask the question, it's pertaining to this, the dollars now.
What page are we on?
Okay, I'm gonna go to page, okay, I'm sorry. Let me see here. Maybe this may be for Dr. Bournet to ask this question right here. I'm sorry, just bear with me a minute, because I don't even know. So this is for Dr. Bournet. I'm sorry, Leela. Okay. I need to ask you on this personnel report, Dr. Bournet, what is spouse citizenship proceeding? What is that? As a reason for leave. I don't know what that is. Spouse, you got down here spouse citizenship proceeding? I don't know what that is.
Get her husband's citizenship.
I just need to ask him to explain it.
Okay,
You know
well,
what I'm
So
saying?
I'm
But
going to
it's
ask our Director of
self-explanatory.
Human Resources to come and
Pardon?
address the question.
You said what now?
Dr. McJohnson will come and address the
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's fine.
Number 6,
Yes.
that is where that particular individual has to attend a citizenship procedure for their spouse.
I've never saw it on there before, so that's why I was asking.
Well, that was the reason that they gave for the leave.
Okay. And then another one here on page 3. You have Jessica Kramer here. She's the interim principal.
Yes,
So if she was the vice principal, right?
correct.
So why would she be getting paid for being a difference in pay? Don't that's what they supposed to do? To step in when the principal is not there?
Not as interim. She's stepping outside of or beyond her responsibility. So she has to maintain her responsibility as well as the lead principal's responsibility.
I want to know, because I know she's the vice. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Yeah, no.
No.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. Moving over to item 6.11, approval of resolution 2026-05 to appoint members to Building Corporation Board. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.11?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve item 6.11.
Motion made by VP Rodriguez,
Second.
second by Madam Secretary Smith. Are there any comments from the board?
Madam President,
Yes, Trustee Gomez.
I don't have an objection to the individuals. What I do have an objection to is that I believe that we have residents here in East Chicago, who live here in East Chicago, who are capable of doing this job. Been around a long time, and I can't remember anybody who has been a member of the building corporation who's not resided in the city. So that would be my opposition to this, not to the individuals, but rather to favoring people who actually reside here in the city.
Would that be something?
So
Joe would know?
these individuals, it appears to me that they are comprised of citizens and stakeholders.
Would that be a question that you would know, or what is that?
You can ask me any question you want.
Oh, well, maybe you need to ask Jewel that question then, or just
I think it was a comment. I didn't hear a question.
I have a
comment then,
question.
whatever.
I have a
You can ask
question
him.
to Attorney Harrison.
Yes, VP Rodriguez.
Is there anything that stipulates in the building corporation that you have to be a resident in the city of East Chicago?
No, so if I could
Oh,
give you a little
Joelle asked a
background.
question? Okay.
If I can give you a little background, okay, so, School City of East Chicago had a building corporation that existed before, right? And you have to have building corporations in order to proceed with certain types of bond financing, right? The building corporation is a vehicle to allow you to do that. Our prior building corporation dissolved because the members of that prior corporation passed away, moved away, or lost interest in serving on the board. So that board ended up dissolving in the Secretary of State's office for inactivity. There was no people on the board. So right now, what we're in the process of doing is forming a new building corporation and comprising a new board so that you can move forward with that bond plan, which you received a presentation about tonight from Attorney Shanahan. This allows you to move forward. So with a new building corporation will come new bylaws. Right now, you don't have any bylaws that exist for the building corporation, and there is no limitation on residency. However, what this resolution is doing is appointing the initial members of the board. If you would like to see the building corporation have incorporated in its bylaws a residency requirement, you can do that going forward. But right now, you at least have to have an initial board established, And as you go forward and you have new appointments to the board, if the bylaws indicate that you have to be an East Chicago resident, then that's what it'll be going forward. Right now, I think these three individuals were selected because they're familiar with the community, familiar with the school corporation, and familiar with what the function of a building corporation is. So they were recommended as being able to hit the ground running and knowing what we're doing now. But it's not at all a bad suggestion that if you want incorporated in the bylaws that you be an East Chicago resident, you still have the ability to influence what happens in those bylaws going forward. This just allows us to have an initial board so that we can do that bond plan, which of course we need.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Are there any other comments or questions?
Was this yours?
Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on to item 6.12, discussion of bond council review of timeline for proposal bond. Are there any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.12?
We actually don't need to vote on that.
We don't need to vote on
We don't
that.
need to vote. Nope, and we covered it.
All right, it's been covered. Thank you. Moving on to item 6.13, approval of ratification of November 25th, 2025 personnel report. Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve item 6.13?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve 6.01.
13?
13.
Okay.
whatever.
All right, motion made by Madam Secretary Smith,
I'll second that motion.
second made by VP Rodriguez. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
Madam President, I have a question for Attorney Harris.
Yes, Trustee Gomez.
The ratification then is to, just so we put on the record, that the actions taken on November 25th, 2025 were not in alignment with our school district policies, correct?
Yeah, would you like me to give a little bit of background?
Sure.
Why we're doing, okay. So all right, so item 6.13 is a ratification of the personnel report that was on the agenda of the November 25th meeting. If you all recall, we were at Lincoln School for that meeting. There was.
November 25th.
November 25th, yeah, I'm sorry. Did I say a different date?
No, you didn't, but I just
Okay.
reminded
Yeah,
you.
it was November 25th. Yes, and we were there, obviously we were off-site. An issue came up regarding the sufficiency of the vote to approve that personnel report. Trustee Gomez brought that up regarding how many votes would be needed in order to approve it. Because of internet issues, we could not access the policies to determine whether or not a simple majority was sufficient, so it was brought up. We discussed it in a couple of meetings since then. I've looked it up. I've also discussed it with Trustee Gomez, and he's correct that a simple majority is not sufficient. So it was brought up a couple times in the context of approval of minutes, and we came up with this plan as the appropriate plan of action to address the deficiency from the November 25th meeting, and that's to request a ratification of the report from the November 25th meeting.
All right, thank you. Are there any other comments from the board?
Just a final comment that, given the State Board of Accounts does look at our minutes, this then solidifies the action, should they come back and do an audit as they review the personnel report. This would confirm that we are now back in alignment.
Yes, thank you. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Madam President Taylor?
Yes. All right, now we're moving on to public forum.
If you signed up to speak, if you could please step to the podium, state your name, your comments, your name and your address. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please be respectful of the board, the staff, and the audience members that are present. And lastly, please refrain from discussing any individual personnel matters. Thank you.
Yes, we have Mr. Samuel Smith Jr., please.
Okay.
And could you please speak loud, sir?
Good evening, Sam Smith, 3831 Main Street here in East Chicago, also the husband of Trustee Smith. Came to my attention that there is an individual here in East Chicago that has compassion for drummers. I was a drummer in grade school as well as high school, and this individual wanted to start what is called the Bucket Boys. And some of you may see these individuals on certain corners in certain cities. They are playing buckets, those white buckets with drumsticks, and some of them have a melodious cadence that sounds very good, and some of them are just beating because they are trying to make a living. I solicited the help of a friend as well as my wife to fund these bucket boys, and I purchased several buckets. I will also in the future get some drumsticks, and there is a box for an electric drum set. And I want to forward that to Mr. D'Angelo Cole to further his endeavors in trying to keep these kids abreast in music by whatever means he can, and also to keep them from being in the judicial system, in the medical system, and having their parents to come and talk to me and putting them in the ground. So therefore, if I can use dollars to help a child stay positive, then take my money.
Yes, we'll have
Now
New
we
Orleans style
have
playing.
Mr.
New
Terrence
Orleans,
Lay.
Right, Jess?
You're not going to speak? Well,
Oh, you're not gonna talk, Graylin?
Nobody can come behind that.
so that ends our community, yeah, whatever. I'm just blown away because I'm just going to say this. Tonight has been a very, very, very pleasant night. I am so proud of, and I know it's not my time to speak, but y'all know I do what I want to do anyway. I'm proud of
I'll let you
our
go first.
basketball team. I'm proud of our athletic department. I'm proud of our students that are striving. I know it's hard. I know that things seem to be all up in the air, but this too shall pass. As one person told me today, if you're a Bible believer, we're all in the phase of Job. If you don't know what Job is, read your Bible. But this too shall pass. God said, you can do anything to him, but you can't kill him. And that's not what's going to happen in our community. We're not going to let anybody kill our community, our children, our teachers, no matter what you might think, no matter what you might say. This district is going to strive, and we're going to make it, whether you like it or not, because we are one. And anything negative, don't come to me with it, because I'm not going to accept it, because that's the problem, negativity. If we can't all work together, then you don't need to be on the board. Don't run. Because it takes a board, and it takes a community, and it takes a village to raise all of our children. Each and every one of these kids, all they need is somebody to show them that they love them and that they care. And the athletic department is doing a very good job. And so is the education department. And so is Mr. Brown. I don't care what people say, kids need love. Once you show them love, baby, the doors are open. And with that, I'm done with it. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for that donation. Our bucket boys, okay, and so, Jeremy, you gotta take Ace Hardware off those buckets and put Cardinals and, whoever does it, but I'm just saying.
Got it.
But we're gonna get our boys to learn how, and girls, how to be, pull their talent out. We don't have enough extracurricular activities, and then you wanna know why they act out. They act out because we're not offering them anything. Sometimes you don't want to go home because you don't want to go home to the mess that you are involved in. So your school is your escape. And if we're not there to help them try to escape, then they're going to get in trouble. They're going to be mischief. So I'm just saying, we gotta do better. We gotta work together. It ain't about no me, you, who, or whatever. It's about doing the right thing. If all the activities that you give a child, I guarantee you that child grades will raise.
Yep,
Because
I
he
agree.
knows that somebody cares, and there's a teacher that cares. And I had one teacher that pushed me to everything, and I appreciate her. And I'm quite sure each and every one of you all have one. So I'm saying, if you got something negative to say, keep it to yourself, because you really don't want to face me.
Amen.
Because I'm not bringing no negativity to this district anymore. This too shall cease as of tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Trustee Gibson King?
No, I don't want to get cut off, but thank you.
No problem, your prerogative. Trustee Gomez?
Thank you. I just wanted to go back to our personnel report and maybe something we can bring back to the board. As I was reviewing the resignation letter by the federal grants person, I noted on here, and maybe Attorney Harris can chime in on this one. It says the letters to formally notify the resignation effective July 1, 2026. Shouldn't that be June 30th?
I'm not familiar with the resignation letter. I wasn't involved in the process, but I can look into it and then
Yeah,
report back
thanks,
to
if you don't mind. And I also, on the, Dr. Bournet, on the professional development request, that we still have that 30-day, I'm sorry, I believe it's 60 days now for professional development requests. Some of these have fallen well within its 60-day window. So if we could be mindful of the policy that requires these documents to be brought in front of the administration and approval from the board per our policy, I'd appreciate it. I know this month is Women's History Month, so I appreciate the display that's out in the hallway. I did want to talk about, we are still without a second person on the Finance Committee, I believe. And per our policy, we're supposed to be meeting on a monthly basis with two people appointed to that Finance Committee. So if we could add another person.
Could you cite that policy, Trustee Gomez?
Yeah, let me, I'll grab it for you and I'll send it over to you.
Thank you.
Dr. Bournet. Also, I know that the conversation's been brought up about the voting center over at the Kerry Gosh Early Learning Center. I've not seen that on our docket, and I believe we should have that approved prior to the early voting taking place, which is only going to be in a few more weeks. So if we could have that on our next agenda, I'd appreciate that as well. And then one other request I'd like to make is for the color guard, basically, the senior Serenity Winters, junior Tanaya Jones, junior Lele Butler, and junior Jeremiah Telly. Those were all individuals who were cited by Major Woods as having done a good performance at the Hammond Central competition. If we could invite those students to our next board meeting and recognize them, I think that'd be nice to do as well. Finally, I want to go back on a couple items that I brought up before, and that's the community meal that we did not do in 2025. I know there's a lot of people out there that are still struggling, and I really would like to see us do some kind of meal for the community, particularly in light of the possibility that we look at a referendum that we're engaging the community early on this year, and thanking them for being participants in the school district, however they may choose to participate. And that concludes my remarks. I'll get that policy over to you, Madam President.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Yep.
VP Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the... Sorry. Central High School Senior Cardinals didn't just win the sectionals title. They reminded everyone the grit and heart that defines East Chicago. So as we prepare to take our spirit over to Michigan City, let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate that moment of excellence that spans with all our young children. Also, well, this thing's loud. Our commitment to students goes far beyond the court. Through our vital partnerships with Ivy Tech College, our students are gaining the advanced skills and college credits necessary to lead in our modern workforce. That same drive for innovation is alive in our esports. Our esports athletics and coaches, your strategic thinking and teamwork have carved out a new path for students' engagements in state competitions. So I want to thank you for that. With the road ahead, our senior Cardinals, as you lead to the regional game, know that you carry the pride of this entire community. Play with the same discipline you show in our studies and the same passion you've shown all season. So thank you, Cardinals. Another note, the Lake County Board of Elections and Registration is thrilled to announce that they are hosting their first public behind the ballot open house on Saturday morning from 10 to 2 p.m. This free event, some of the items that they're going to be talking about is an education to community about their voting rights and processes, connect voters to candidates to all resources at their disposal, not only to vote, but also to run for office. We're going to be talking about all of that. Offers ways to community members to actively support voting and elections in Lake County. And that's Saturday, March 14th from 10 to 2 at the Lake County Government Center main auditorium, and that would be door S2. Lastly, I believe, and I want to say Trustee Gomez is correct, the early voting center, we need to have a board action allowing the early voting to proceed at the Carrigosh Early Learning Center. I believe that the election board did approve that, and we just want to make sure that we have board action as well here for the next meeting. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, VP Rodriguez. All right, so wrapping it up, to speak to the early voting, just so everyone's aware, that is already on queue. We have discussed that, and to be on queue for on the next board agenda, so we'll be on there for board action. Quickly, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that we have a lot of positive things happening in our district. It is always great to celebrate our students and celebrate our staff. Those are moments that motivate them, encourage them, and it reminds us why the work matters. We may not be where we ultimately want to be yet, but we are certainly not where we were. We just can't keep harping and highlighting the negative and not be a part of the solution. We need to be the standard. For instance, same board members that are voicing their opinions about agenda modifications are the exact same ones that have asked me at least 3 times this year to add something to the agenda all the way up to the day before, and I have allowed it. So it's not just one way, one-sided, it's on both sides. So if there's no risk, if there's no harm, I don't see the issue. So again, we just need to be the standard. So it's one of the reasons, not only be the standard, but be the solution, be a part of the solution. We're gonna sit here and harp about things and complain, what are you doing to be a part of the solution? That was one of the reasons why it's my absolute honor and privilege to help coach the softball girls team, because I wanna be a part of the solution. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Trustee Diane Smith, for being a part of the solution. That's what it looks like. Put your money where your mouth is. If it lines up, great. If it doesn't, you need to keep your mouth shut. So, because when I was in school, I joined every sport that I could because I didn't want to be home with nothing to do. It gave me purpose. If I didn't know what my purpose was, I found it in every extracurricular activity there was. So we need to support that. So when these kids come out here and they're here to be celebrated, we all should have been standing on our feet, celebrating them, clapping for them, and rooting for them. Because a lot of them, their own parents weren't even here tonight if you didn't notice. So let's continue to strive and provide for our students the opportunity and the encouragement and support, and I'm proud to be a part of the district that's working towards that every day. Thank you very much. That will conclude our meeting. The date and time of our next meeting is Tuesday, March 24, 2026, at the Administration Building. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by VP Rodriguez, second by Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, thank you.